Questions, answers, Reddit. Here we go! Guys who got told no during a failed marriage proposal, what happened afterwards? I asked this girl to marry me and she said no because I didn't ask her right. I don't know exactly why, but it didn't bother me much. We had a strange history and it just seemed like par for the course. About a year later, I met someone else and we will be celebrating 31 years in a few weeks. Sometimes things do work out for the best. Wow, okay. So this guy was told no because he didn't ask her right, which I think is a cop-out answer personally. I think that person just didn't want to marry them. I think if you found the right person, you're going to say yes. What a weird reason to give that guy. Not my own experience, but I was in the restaurant when a failed proposal happened. Somehow the guy was able to get the families involved in this fancy dinner without the girl's knowledge as to what was going to happen. He orders their drinks, where he had the ring cleaned and then placed at the bottom of her pina colada drink. She gets up and goes to the bathroom, and that's when some of her family moved in close with their cameras/phones ready for the proposal. She comes back and the drinks are brought. She refuses the drink, much to his dismay, but doesn't get the hint. She doesn't want it. You should have your drink. It's really good. She again says no. This goes on back and forth. Finally, she says no and is disturbed by his pushy behavior. I hear this from my table. I can't marry someone who won't respect my boundaries. She gets up and walks out of the restaurant. The guy sits there waiting for her to cool off. She doesn't come back in. He fishes out the ring and has the drinks taken away. She comes back in near the end and he shows her the ring, tells her it was in the drink, and she slaps him and says no. This time she is angry and leaves. Everyone packs up and heads to pay. He just sits there by himself. I wanted to get up and say something, but my date was ready to go home. Wait, did she see it? Does that mean that she saw that there was a ring in the bottom of that drink and she's like, no, I don't want the drink. I don't want the drink. She must have seen the ring. That's not very nice. That's not very good. Not a very good proposal. Before I keep reading these, just so you know, if you want to propose to your partner, chances are pretty high that might be a good choice. Don't let this discourage you. Don't, if you're thinking about this in your own life and you feel like, you're ready to pull trigger on this exciting new chapter of your life, don't let these stories dissuade you. But I do encourage just kind of checking the temperature, maybe asking her best friend or his best friend. I would take temperature, though, just to be safe that you're not one of these stories. What a poor choice of drink to hide it in. Could have been easily missed, even if she did drink it. Seriously, knowing the way I gulped the last bit of a drink, I'd probably end up choking on it. What's the appeal to that, hiding it in a drink? I think champagne glass, maybe, but even then, it's like all dirty and frothy and ugh. Honestly, that sounds like she knew the proposal was coming and she had made it clear she wasn't interested and was mad he tried to make it a public spectacle and brought her family and his into pressure to say yes and act pleasantly happy with the surprise. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking she knew it was proposal time. She probably clocked that her family was there with all the cameras and photos and stuff. She's like, no, I don't want the drink. I don't want this right now. Blah, 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 blah. Who knows? Who knows what was going on in her life? But that was a no. It's a firm no. Guys who got told no during a failed marriage proposal, what happened afterwards? I realized 10 seconds later that she actually said, I will. And she's just really quiet when she talks. Okay. All right. Let me act this out for you if you're confused like I kind of am. Will you marry me? I will. This guy just hears, no. I will. Okay. Here's a sincere question for the crowd here. If you say no to a marriage proposal, if a marriage proposal is brought up and no is said, does that mean an instant breakup? I don't think it has to. That just means a conversation needs to be had. Something needs to change, or simply it's too soon. I've heard stories where people, usually in older couples, I asked her to marry me like 4 times, and the 5th time was the charm. You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's a thing, right? It's really about a conversation. We'd been joking around about it for months. I'd ask sarcastically and in the most unromantic way. She'd say no, we'd laugh and move on with our day. I'd apparently conditioned her so well that when I asked for real, she flippantly turned me down, and everyone around me either gasped or got this real awkward look on their face. She changed her tune quick when she actually looked and saw me holding the ring. We've been married for 17 years now. Good times. Aw, that's cute. Yeah, you got like a little boy who cried wolf situation. Instead of alerting the town that a wolf is coming to kill the sheep, you are alerting your girlfriend that you're interested in marrying her, and you're conditioning her to say no. This is a classic fairy tale. What is that? A Brothers Grimm tale? Well, boy who cried wolf. Is that the... Oh, it's an Aesop's fable. Oh, yeah. I wonder what Aesop's up to nowadays. I wonder if they ever made like an HBO series about his fables. I could see that happening. I could also see a surprise microphone. This person says, sounds kind of like you set up yourself for that one. My wedding band has no engraved on the inside along with our wedding date. Probably one of my best memories, TPH. Aw, that's so cute. My 7th grade teacher brought us, for a second there, I thought that this guy proposed to his 7th grade teacher. My 7th grade teacher brought his girlfriend to school to propose to her in front of our entire class, and she said no. It was the topic of discussion almost every day that year. No bullshit. He ended up moving schools at the end of the year. But why did she say no? And why did he do it in front of a bunch of kids? Well, she really meant that no, because him moving schools at the end of the year is like, you'd have to, because you would be rumored as the guy who got said no to forever. As a teacher, I literally can't imagine anything less romantic than proposing in front of my students. Sounds like she dodged a bullet, especially a class of 7th graders. Woof. Yeah, it's different. This isn't like one of those stories where like, well, my ex-wife is long gone now, but I'd like you to be their new mother. He's gesturing towards like a room full of, orphans and stuff, and they're all sad, cute, and puppy. This is not that. This is him doing the same move to a class full of 7th graders, which I'm pretty sure are cannibalistic nowadays. That's what I understand from the media. Is that the children of 7th grade, 6th to 7th, 8th grade students, in fact, eat each other. They consume each other's flesh. There's something I heard. My youngest is going into 7th grade at the fall. If his class witnessed a proposal, the chances someone would shout something about Sigma or Skibbity or some other nonsense seems very high. Also, that seems to be the age where some of them need deodorant, but haven't figured it out yet, so the setting of the proposal would probably have a memorable aroma. I used to teach middle school for a while. I taught like for 4 or 5 years, 4 or 5 summers anyway. It was a summer school program. But, that age group, it was around, 6th grade through 9th grade, something like that. And dude, that age group is wild. If they think of anything, they will say it as fast as they can. I was a monster when I was in 7th grade. I was an absolute anomaly. I was an anomaly of a child. Yeah, here's a photo. Great. Yeah, I would not recommend that to anybody. And to be honest with you, I would love to keep teaching because it's such a fun thing, and all the kids are crazy, and I'm crazy. It's just a fun, crazy time. I have a lot of mad respect for teachers because I know how much work it is. It's an insane amount of work to put a syllabus together and get it approved and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun, too. It's a lot of fun. One thing you don't want to do, though, is have them all latch on to something about you. My final year of teaching, I was teaching in Hong Kong, and at that, I had around like 100,000 subscribers or something, and one of the kids found my YouTube channel, and after that moment, that was all they could talk about, and I knew in that moment I could never be a teacher again. Not for like a younger age group. I assume I could for like college or something eventually if I got a master's. But anyway, moving on. I cannot imagine a woman that would want her proposal to happen in front of a middle school class. That's just what the energy. There was this girls' camp I went to for a few years as a kid. Every year on the last morning, campers could go on a hike that started at 2 a.m. and we would be at the top of the mountain for sunrise. One year, a counselor's boyfriend showed up at sunrise and proposed in front of all of us 12, 13-year-old girls. She said yes. We were all happy. That's really sweet. That's nice. The next year, the same counselor was there. It was unusual for the counselors to be married, so I asked another one if she had gotten married, and she told me that she had actually called off her engagement later that day. She just didn't want to embarrass the guy in front of a bunch of preteens. That lady is a soft skill pro. Wow. There's definitely a world where you say yes to something temporarily just to make it a soft no later, I think. That sucks, though, for that guy. My mom's boyfriend proposed to her 3 months into dating. She was 40, had one disastrous marriage and subsequent divorce under her belt by that time, and felt like it was too soon in the relationship to be talking marriage. He accepted her no, but said he wouldn't ask again, and he hasn't. They've been together 25 plus years now and never married. I mean, it worked out in the end, but holy shit, it's 3 months? 90 days. 90-day fiance. Wait a minute. Oh, good. That was like whatever you saw. There exists, I think, a 15-minute version of what you just saw. So, what was the seriously gift you opened this Christmas? First gift I opened said it was for my mom. There was a small jewelry box, which I opened to find 4 molars. My sister started cracking up. They're her wisdom teeth, LMAO. Her husband even found something with my mom's handwriting on it to make the tag believable. So you made the tag like it was something from your mom, and then you had teeth in there? Is your mom alive or dead? My mom is alive. Okay, good. Some people really do like the teeth thing. I don't know. Maybe people don't like the teeth thing, but that's definitely something that exists. When my wife and I first got married, her parents hated me. One year, they got me a woman's sweater. It was very obviously a woman's sweater too. The next Christmas, I wore it over to their house, and my mother-in-law asked my wife why I was wearing a woman's sweater. Come on, man. That's really funny. That's really good. And that's so funny. If that's how y'all hate on each other, I think that's the funniest thing possible. One of those situations where you just razz the other person. You never get into it or anything. It's just you're constantly like, why are you wearing a woman's sweater? And then just not addressing it and going back to your dinner or something. I love that. I think that's great. Power move. Because he loves your gifts, he thinks you are so thoughtful and felt very appreciated. Yeah, that's so good. That's so funny. I got put into a 10K run. Unbeknownst to me, this is actually my nightmare. Yeah, this is the equivalent. It's not exactly the equivalent. Don't give an animal as a gift ever. Do not give an animal as a gift to somebody who's not aware of it and who would not like that. Do you know what I'm saying? A surprise animal is a horrible idea, unless you're a parent giving to a child, knowing that you're probably going to be doing all of the raising of that animal. But a surprise 10K? I think I saw something once where somebody was getting married and they had all of their bridesmaids or something go on a run with them the morning of the wedding. That's a little crazy, right? And this is so strange. Is that something that you wanted? Who asks for a 10K run? A shoe size measuring tool, like a full-on metal one that you'd see at a shoe store. This shoe thing would only be good for a few things. One, if you're maybe a shoe designer. Okay. Two, if you're a cobbler, which is like a shoe repairman. Three, if you need something heavy and metal to beat someone with. Hey, you know what? This is a good gag gift if you're going around bragging about your shoe size. You know what I'm saying? And people are like, you're definitely not that shoe size. And then you're like, yeah, I am. Okay. Bloop. Put your foot in it. Put your foot in it. You have approximately 90 days. Come back to me with your shoe size, big fella. LMAO, best one, I'm dying. How did you react and who gave it to you? Okay, so let's see the story behind this. Wow, this is so great. Thank you is how they reacted. It was from my mother-in-law. She said it was because my son's feet are always growing, so it will help us determine his shoe size and order online. Oh, that's sweet. So she's looking out for your kid. So you have a child whose feet are always growing, and you can just order their shoes. Oh, that's cute. That's actually cute. But the thing is, though, you still gotta try on the shoes because not every shoe size is the same. You know what I'm saying? Like a Nike 10.5 is different from like an Adidas 10.5. You know, like the shoe size doesn't always. Not saying that my shoe size is 10.5, but maybe it is. She's not wrong. It was a giant pain in the ass every time I had to buy my kids new shoes before I bought that thing. Dang! So people sort of a nice idea. People really like this. Yeah, I guess your shoes just keep going up, right? Like, how many times did my parents have to buy me shoes every year? Probably a lot. That's crazy. My mother-in-law is very much a theme giver. My husband gets all things West Virginia University because we're alumni. My son gets everything saxophone related because that's what he plays. My daughter gets gifts with cats because he likes cats. I've been dealing with breast cancer for the past year. My birthday and Mother's Day gifts were breast cancer related. I told her please not to do that for Christmas. Well, she didn't listen. She got me a breast cancer awareness shirt, Christmas ornament, because nothing screams Christmas like cancer, and a tabletop snowman decorating a Christmas tree with breast cancer ribbons. I was polite and said thank you, but I wanted to scream, are you kidding me? I'm not sure if it's all going to Goodwill or the trash. Yeah, this is one of those, you could have just given her something that she would have enjoyed. You know what this is? It's very old school thinking of like, boy get boy gift, girl get girl gift, man get man gift. A person with this description about them gets the only thing that I know them as. That's so not good. Let me read some of their responses here and see. Box up the breakables and have a smash party when you hit a milestone. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. I'm sorry. I'm a breast cancer patient too at 38. I got so much pink crap from my well-meaning mother-in-law in October. I don't want gifts about cancer. Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing about people with these ailments, these illnesses, these diseases, just listen to them. Talk to them about it. This does mean you have to have one or maybe a couple uncomfortable conversations about an uncomfortable topic. Or maybe none of that at all. Maybe just, hey, what do you want for Christmas? Just ask, I guess. But, I don't know. Because they are on the receiving end. It's up to them now to have to do backwards math and figure out, how to tell you that this thing that you think is nice is actually not very nice to them. They are being over leveraged to somebody who's supposed to be. It's now up to them to set their foot down and be like, sorry, I really don't like that kind of gift. Just ask. I know you like to surprise, but gosh, I'm bald. I got shampoo. Okay, wait. Real question here. Real question. What do you use? Do you use body wash? Can you get dandruff if you're bald? Yes, you can get dandruff if you're bald. In fact, people without hair may be more likely to get dandruff than those with hair. So my thinking right now is that shampoo has a different ingredients in it, doesn't it, to prevent dandruff? Or obviously there's dandruff shampoos. I use a dandruff shampoo. But I don't know. Is shampoo bad? I actually have a very relevant story for this. My boyfriend is also bald, and his scalp started to break out a bit recently. We Googled it, and bald people are supposed to use shampoo too. Your scalp isn't the same as the skin of the rest of your body. Yes! I thought that made sense. I bet this was a joke gift, but, isn't it different up there? That makes me happy. Okay, hold on. Your scalp isn't the same skin of the rest of your body. You don't have any hair to absorb the oils your scalp produces, so it's good to use things made for the scalp. Body soaps can either be way too drying or way too moisturizing. Things I didn't know. Look at that. Huh? So now you, viewer, if you know anybody who's bald, like my editor Jeremy, look at him. Send a little shampoo. Or maybe just ask what they want. My grandparents gave my parents a framed picture of a random little boy, and nobody knows who it is. I love that. That is something I would do. Personally, I cannot wait to be a grandparent, because then you could just kind of do anything. And nobody will have the nards to respond to you in a disciplinary, or maybe they will, but it's just not going to be taken that seriously. You know what I mean? It's just like, Grandpa, you really shouldn't do that.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's little Tom's toy.
Tom's toy?
Yeah, you remember Tom's toy back from the neighborhood?
Yeah, sure, Grandpa, that's Tom's toy.
You're going to frame that above the fireplace, aren't you?
Yes, Grandpa, I'll put Tom's toy above.
You better put that above the fireplace.
And then now Grandpa goes home and he's like, I made them hang up an image of a fake boy. Dude, I can't wait to be an absolute nightmare of an old man. I've been laughing for a whole minute about this. This also reminds me, though, that when I was little, my dad, who worked as a mechanic, had framed a picture of my brother, who was maybe 8-ish in the picture, in the shop. One day, the shop got broken into and robbed, but the only thing stolen was that picture. To this day, we're all baffled. I now have the mental picture of one Redditor's nearly blind grandmother breaking into the workshop of another Redditor's dad for a very elaborate prank. Okay, yeah, all right. I have a 6-month-old daughter. Brother figured an age-appropriate gift would be a skateboard. No. Dude, I tried to skateboard in college. My last name is Thrasher. That's really, actually, legally, my last name. I cannot skateboard. I thought, 18, 19 would be a good time to try. I got on a skateboard. I went like this. Whoosh. I was on the skateboard for a brief moment. I hit a little bump in the sidewalk. I flew, hands out, scraped some skin against the sidewalk, bled a little bit, and said to myself, I think I'm done. And that's what happened with me and the skateboard. Your brother wanted to be the person to buy her the first skateboard and didn't want to wait too long and have someone else do it. That makes sense. Yeah. The seriously gift for this person was a personalized gift with my name misspelled. You want to hear something funny? My name is Daniel. That's Daniel, right? The amount of times that I have seen my name spelled Daniel, Daniel. The amount of times I've seen that, honestly, over 10 times. Third question, lawyers of Reddit. What is the dumbest thing your client has done to ruin a case? This is the funny thing is this is about dumbest, and then the next thing is a typo right there. Let me read this with the typo included. Lawyers of Reddit, what is the dumbest thing your client has done to ruin a case? Let's move on. Not an attorney, but I worked in a firm. Workers' compensation claim. Guy falls down at work and claims he injured many different parts, shoulder, knees, back of his body. We tell him to stay off social media. No problem. He doesn't use social media. At trial, he tells the judge he used to be a spin class instructor, but since the accident, he cannot teach classes anymore. Well, turns out he continued to teach these classes after his injury. This was proved by the hours of surveillance the insurance company did. Never mess with an insurance company. Insurance companies will hire a team of investigators. If they're going to hand out money, they're going to make sure that nothing is being falsely claimed. Oh my God. Insurance companies are ruthless. They are the closest thing to a godlike omnipresent force as I think we have on this earth outside of a deity. This was proved by the hours of surveillance the insurance company did, showing him teaching and vigorously riding in spin class. How did the insurance company know he was still an active instructor? The guy posted his full teaching schedule on his Facebook page. His potentially very lucrative claim was quickly changed to a fraud claim against him. Insurance fraud, yo, hey, two people you don't want to mess with, the IRS and any insurance company. They will get your ass. They will get your ass. That's cool. We had a guy claim he dropped a pallet on his foot and broke it during work. Okay, he goes to the doc and gets a cast. 5 days later, he calls in that he got his cast wet and had to cut it off. Gets a new one. 5 days later, it was too tight and he cut it off again. I met him at the clinic to be the co-rep. Doc tells him to work into a shoe. We had a private investigator rent office space from us, so we had him followed. A few days later, had a video of him putting up a chain link fence alone in a pair of sandals. Of course, we sent that to workers' comp. He skipped town before he was to meet with workers' comp. Yeah, faking an injury, not very honorable. Okay. Paralegal once had a convicted criminal explain to me how their murder charge should be overturned because the victim didn't die at the scene of the crime. The victim died at the hospital. Therefore, the defendant couldn't be charged with anything more than attempted murder. How does that work? You hit somebody with your car. They don't die there, but they die later. No, that's murder. That's murder. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm trying to see their logic. And no, that doesn't make any, no. They died as a result of your actions. So that is murder. Reminds me of the assassination of President Garfield. He lived 11 weeks after being shot, but his doctors got competitive over who could remove the bullet from his back and ended up reaching into his wound over and over with unsanitized fingers because this was before germ theory. Garfield eventually died from infection, and his assassin's defense was that he only shot the man. It was the doctors that killed him. He wasn't wrong, but he also hanged. It wasn't before germ theory. The doctor in charge just bullied the sterile proponents out of the treatment team and caused the sepsis that was ultimately fatal. 11 weeks? So he had a bullet in his back for 11 weeks? Dang, President Garfield. That's a lot of lasagna. 11 times 7, that's 77 lasagnas. Just short of 90 days worth of lasagnas. I was on a jury where the defendant showed up in court day one wearing the same exact outfit as the unknown suspect in the video of the crime. Question. Were they aware of the outfit that they wore during the crime? Because if they were aware of it, then this is admission. It took only a few seconds before the judge immediately called a stoppage. All lawyers went into the back with the judge. They came out like 7 minutes later and announced the defendant had taken the plea deal. Wild. I forgot. This is my crime outfit. It's my crime outfit because it should be illegal to look this good. And because I wore it when I robbed that bank last week. That's good. That's a really good joke. Alpha break. You looking for a job as a writer? With the utmost certainty in his voice, he yelled at the arresting officer that it's not domestic violence. I'm on public property. You could tell from his face he really thought he had the cop over a barrel on this one, but was witness to a domestic dispute outside the store I worked at once, husband and wife in different cars screaming at each other, threatening, etc. After a few minutes of it, we called the cops, and about that time, the wife got into her car to leave. The husband got into his and kept cutting her off / forcing her to the curb. The cops showed up in time to see him slam his car into hers and drive hers up onto the curb, and when the cops approached him, we could hear him shout, it's okay, I own both cars." Even with how tense it was, we had to laugh in disbelief at how dumb this guy was. Why would you do that, man? That's that Confucius thing. You're swallowing a hot coal and hoping that it hurts the other person. Don't do this! Do not do this! I like committing violence against things I own as it is my right. Sir, for the last time, you do not own your wife. Here's your 2 car repair bills. Yeah. Very stupid. Also, like, you know what, man? If you're in a relationship or a marriage, no matter what, if you think the only solution is to harm the person in front of you, then you need to end the relationship and go to therapy. Those are the two things you got to do. The man claimed workers' compensation and threw the kitchen sink at us, meaning he basically listed just over half of his body parts on the claim petition, stating that he injured each one. He was full of shit, and my firm knew it. Anyways, we were going to the trial, and the day before, we ran one more social media search. This absolute moron posted a video of him winning a break dance competition that was only a few months after the alleged work incident. I never saw a quicker dismissal in my entire life. Look, you know Ray Gun from the Olympics? Show a quick little Ray Gun. That is somebody that I think would be dealing with spinal injury. In that case, sure, I believe you. Looks like an injured person doing their best and winning. Otherwise, they probably did pretty good. As I read this, I was trying to figure out what physical activity he'd be doing. Thought it would be a sport. Breakdancing is 10,000 times. Yeah, because you like spin around on your head. Or you do what Ray Gun was doing, like this. That's a feat. No. Actually, you know what? I will say this though. No dissing Ray Gun. I think it's so cool, the kind of energy she brings to the world. You know what I'm saying? Just like, I'm gonna do this to the best of my ability, and I'm just gonna ride this high for a while. And I think Ray Gun, whether she wants to be or not, I think she's one of the funniest, coolest people on the planet. Because I would totally go to the Olympics and pretend to be a breakdancer. She's probably actually a great break. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. But I would absolutely go to the Olympics with that skill set and be like, international superstar. Those are a few interesting questions that I thought would be fun to read for you guys, and maybe it gets a couple of you thinking. I want you to type out the worst misspelling of your name, or bad, or if you want to say anonymous, bad misspellings of names that you've seen or heard. I'm really curious. I wonder if you can top my Daniel one, because Daniel's such an easy name, and Thrasher being Trasher. My whole life, people thinking they're clever when they call me Daniel Thrasher. You have 90 days to live.